So you want to know about Richard Allen, right? Born in 1943 in a little town called Hamlet, North Carolina. And I guess the first thing he ever told me about his family was, the Allen family starts in this house. We ain't got nothing to do with the rest of them people. So I always knew it was kind of bad, to say the least. But when I was growing up though, you know, he never really talked about it too much. And one thing I knew is everybody, they feared him, they loved him, they respected him, but nobody took him lightly. What I did learn was that his daddy was an alcoholic. He made money. He was a conductor on the railroad. He'd go off and work for half the year. The other half the year, he'd be off pretty much. And when he was off, he drank. He was a World War II vet, and he had sure to be PTSD by any stretch of the imagination. And the only thing I knew is that when he was 17, apparently his daddy and mama got in a fight. Granddad went to hit grandma. He stepped up and knocked his daddy out. So his mama looks at him and says, well, if you're old enough to knock out your own father, you're usually too old to be living in the house. So that day she signed him up for the Army. He went to the Airborne. He left the Army and he got hurt when his parachute couldn't open all the way. He hit a power line, busted himself up. He was always driven to do stuff, all the time, like driven to make something of himself. Looking back on it, I know why he was that way now, but I didn't know at the time. I didn't know until after he was dead just how bad the stuff really was. He was abused as a kid badly, which kind of explains a lot about him. That's why he worked so hard to be better than the rest of those people. Like you said, the Allen family starts on this hill. We've got nothing to do with the rest of those people. He didn't want to be like most people that I've met over the years, especially teaching 21 years. They turn into their parents. The ones who are abused become abusers. That's all they know. The only attention they've ever known is negative attention. Well, my dad, that's the way he grew up. But for some reason, somehow, he flipped it around and tried to never do that again. It's the only thing my granddaddy ever told my daddy when he did something was, you tore your ass. You tore your ass. That was his favorite thing. Like, you screwed up this, you screwed up that, screwed up this, screwed up that. That was it. That was about the extent of his positive affection growing up. But yet here he comes, and instead of doing that, he tried to educate us, tell us everything. Things we didn't even think we needed to know, he would tell us. But the main thing was that he did not want to make the same mistakes that had been done with him. And he did a pretty good job of it, because I'd never in a million years dreamed how bad it was the way he acted when I was a kid. Nobody who knew him would ever think he'd have been an abused child. They thought he was like a god. They all wanted to be like him. And like I said, to this day, everybody who knew him, they still miss him. And then he didn't want to die. It's one of the things that bothered me. He died slow from COPD. And it was a slow, painful thing earlier. We talked about everything under the sun. When he died, there was nothing left to say. He was my best friend of all time. And I mean, men said it about their daddy. Most men barely know their daddy, but their daddy's a jerk. Said when he died, I actually felt not happy, but relieved that his suffering was finally over. And I knew he was going to a better place, whether or not he truly believed it or not. Still believe to this day, he's still around here watching us. Still not ready to give up the ghost. Still feeling responsible for everybody, especially my mom. Still keeping an eye on her, I think. At least I like to think so. Whenever I come up here, I don't know if it's wishful thinking or just the fact that I grew up here with him, but I always feel like he's still here. I know everybody that ever knew him still misses him. So he's the greatest man I ever met. the best friend I ever had. But you never would have thought it if you knew where he came from. How's that?